The afternoon that changed everything. I don't know what made me so careless that day. Maybe exhaustion, or maybe the comfort of solitude had dulled my instincts. But the moment I stepped into the kitchen and saw the way his gaze paused, lingering on the chair where I'd left my plum-colored lace lingerie, something inside me snapped. My heartbeat stuttered. I stood frozen, too stunned to pretend I hadn't noticed. Lucas was only here to fix a leaky pipe, a simple errand meant to last minutes. I hadn't planned on letting anyone inside, but the sudden downpour left him soaked, and when he asked if he could wait out the rain, I nodded without thinking. That small, seemingly kind decision was the beginning of everything. Earlier, in a rush, I'd draped my sheer nightgown over the living room chair to dry. The kitchen was too small for both of us to move without brushing against each other. When I reached for a towel, my arm grazed his side, the damp fabric of his sweater, the tension in his body as he leaned over the sink. That fleeting contact sent a sharp, electric ripple up my spine, something I hadn't felt in years. I took a step back, forcing a laugh. But then his eyes landed on it, the delicate fabric I should have hidden, still slightly damp, thin enough that the fading daylight made it glow. He didn't react, didn't look away, just looked. And I watched him watching. I turned quickly, ready to snatch it away, but Lucas spoke first. "You live alone, don't you?" His voice was calm, more statement than question. I nodded without facing him. "I don't usually have visitors." It sounded like an apology. Lucas just smiled and bent back to his work under the sink, as if none of it mattered. But it did. It burned in my chest like a quiet, smoldering ember. I stepped into the hallway, taking a deep breath. In the mirror, I caught my reflection. Hair tousled from the humidity, my blouse clinging faintly. I felt exposed, but not just physically. Something inside me had stirred, a whisper of a need I'd long forgotten. When was the last time someone looked at me like that? When I returned, Lucas was drying the floor with an old towel, sleeves rolled up. "All fixed," he said casually, but his eyes met mine and held. "Thank you," I murmured. "I appreciate it." He shrugged. "No problem. Anything else I can help with?" I hesitated. "You might want to change your shirt. I have one upstairs, my ex-husband's, if you don't mind." Lucas nodded slowly. "Only if it's not a bother." I climbed the stairs without another word, though I knew I should have said no. The shirt was folded neatly in a drawer I hadn't opened in years. It still smelled faintly of cedar and detergent. Familiar, but hollow. I stared at it a second too long, as if touching it might bring back something real. But nothing came. Just silence and a strange weight in my chest. When I handed it to Lucas, our fingers brushed, brief but electric. He unbuttoned his wet shirt right there in the hallway. I turned away, pretending to adjust a picture frame, but I heard the damp fabric peel away from his skin. And then, just for a second, I glanced back. The muscles of his back shifted as he pulled on the dry shirt. My cheeks flushed, and I quickly faced the wall again, heart pounding. Why didn't I give him privacy? Why am I still standing here? "Thanks," Lucas said, leaning against the staircase railing. "Fits perfectly." I turned, forcing a smile. His gaze softened as he looked at me, not teasing, just aware. "You always keep lingerie in the living room?" he asked, voice low. I froze. "Not usually," I admitted, surprised by my own steadiness. "I forgot. I was distracted." His smile deepened. "Fair enough. Not something I'll forget anytime soon." The way he said it, slow, deliberate, made my stomach tighten. I walked to the kitchen, needing space. "Want something warm to drink?" "Tea. Coffee." He followed, close enough that I felt his presence even without looking. When I reached for mugs, his hand hovered near my back, as if ready to catch me. "Tea's good," he murmured. As I filled the kettle, I realized he was still behind me, close. I could feel his breath. My hands trembled slightly. "Lucas," I said quietly, not turning. "This is a little strange, isn't it?" He didn't answer at first. Then, "Only if we pretend it didn't happen." I finally faced him. The space between us felt charged. I could smell the rain on his skin, the fresh detergent from the shirt. "You're young," I said, more to myself. "And you're beautiful," he replied, eyes locked on mine. "Do you want me to stop?" The question hung in the air. I swallowed hard. No, I whispered. Please don't. He moved closer, but slowly, giving me time to breathe. My hand gripped the counter, anchoring myself. Lucas reached past me for a mug, his forearm brushing mine. I didn't pull away. He poured the tea, sliding a cup toward me. Our fingers touched again. This time, neither of us moved. So, he said, voice light but teasing, you're not going to pretend nothing happened? I exhaled. I don't think I could if I tried. He smiled and pulled out a chair. I sat beside him instead of across, a small choice but one he noticed. His knee brushed mine. You do this often? I asked, tilting my head. Flirt with women who forget their laundry? He chuckled. Never. This is new. I studied him. He wasn't lying. There was a nervous edge to his confidence, like he was just as uncertain as me. I got up to refill the kettle, needing to move. My back to him, I knocked over a spoon. Before I could grab it, Lucas was behind me. I've got it, he said, bending close, his shoulder brushing my hip. When he straightened, he didn't step back. His breath warmed the nape of my neck. I can't tell if you're trying to drive me crazy, I whispered. Maybe you're doing that on your own, he replied, voice steady. Then his hand lightly on my waist. Just fingertips, but it was the most intimate touch I'd felt in years. I didn't move. You should know, I said. This isn't something I do. I don't invite anyone in like this. I believe you, Lucas said. But I'm not leaving unless you ask me to. I turned. We were inches apart. His hands stayed on my waist, mine lifted to his chest. His heartbeat was steady beneath the fabric. Lucas, I breathed. Are you sure? He nodded. Are you? A sudden buzz, my phone vibrating on the table, shattered the moment. We both flinched. I didn't check it. The sound was a reminder. The world still existed outside this space. Lucas searched my face. You still want me to stay? Instead of answering, he stepped closer, lips grazing my ear. I haven't even started. Later. We stayed tangled long after, the dim light painting golden lines across his shoulder, my thigh. His arm wrapped around me, as if afraid I'd vanish if he let go. Are you okay? He murmured. I nodded. I don't know what that was. He kissed my forehead. Something honest. The word hit me harder than I expected. You don't feel guilty? I asked. Lucas shook his head. Should I? I do. I feel alive, he said softly. Maybe for the first time in a long time. Is that wrong? I didn't answer. I just buried my face in his neck, breathing him in. When he left, hours later, he paused at the door. You'll be okay. I always am, I said. He held my gaze. Maybe you don't have to be. Then he was gone. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering what part of me he'd awakened. And if I'd ever be able to quiet her again. But one thing was certain. This wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. Asterisk, if this story moved you, let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more heartfelt confessions. Your support keeps these stories alive. Asterisk.